I just spent $20 on a cold burrito that probably cost $9 at the actual restaurant. Why? Because I didn't want to change out of my sweatpants, and I definitely didn't want to drive 10 minutes. So I opened DoorDash. We've all done it. You start with a simple craving and tell yourself you're saving time. But by the time you hit checkout, that saving time fee has doubled the price of your lunch. See, DoorDash doesn't actually sell food. They sell the idea that your own effort is a burden. And once they convince you that a 10-minute drive is too much work, they can charge you whatever they want. So today, we're breaking down every trap DoorDash uses. Some will surprise you. Menu inflation. DoorDash likes to pretend they don't set the food prices, and technically they don't. The restaurants do. But when you open DoorDash, you're not looking at the restaurant's original prices, you're looking at the DoorDash version of those prices. And that's because DoorDash takes a massive cut from every order, sometimes up to 30%. So the restaurants have to jack up their app prices just to cover the commission DoorDash takes from them. It's the same food, but the prices are distorted just enough that you don't notice you're paying a premium. We like to think the app is just a window into the kitchen, but it's more like a funhouse mirror. Small order tax. The small order fee is the app's way of bullying you into spending more. DoorDash tells you that your order is under the $10 or $12 minimum, and suddenly you're being charged $3 for the crime of not being hungry enough. You see the fee and think, wait, if I'm paying $3 for nothing, I might as well spend that $3 on a cookie. We end up spending more money to save ourselves from a fee, which is exactly what DoorDash wants. It's a brilliant way to increase their average order value while making you feel like you're the one beating the system by adding more food. Service fee. Once you've accepted the inflated food prices, DoorDash hits you with the service fee at the very last second. It's usually a percentage of your subtotal, which means the more food you buy, the more DoorDash charges you for the service of using their app. Unlike the delivery fee, which goes toward the logistics of the trip, the service fee is pure platform padding. DoorDash places this at the very end of the checkout flow, tucked away in a collapsed menu, and by the time you see that extra fee, you've already committed mentally to the meal. So you're not going to close the app and start over now. You just sigh and hit pay. Tipping guilt. When you get to that final screen, DoorDash gets you with suggested tipping amounts that often feel calculated against the final total and not just the base food price. And recently, they've started testing low tip warnings, basically telling you that if you try to leave a low tip or no tip at all, your food might take longer to arrive. It's not a threat, but it's definitely a threat. You feel the pressure to just tap that pre-selected middle button because the app makes it look like the standard for not being a jerk. At this point, we aren't even tipping for great service. We're paying a speed tax just to make sure a driver finds your burrito worth the drive. Priority bait. DoorDash loves to let drivers pick up multiple orders at once, which is great for them, but terrible for your fries. So to fix this, they offer priority delivery for an extra $2 or $3, promising to bring your food straight to you without any other stops. This is the ultimate pay-to-play trap. You're basically paying to skip a line that DoorDash created in the first place. The funny thing is, there's no real way to verify if it actually worked. The driver might still be multi-apping with Uber Eats, and there's no way for you to actually prove you were the first stop. You just pay the $2 and hope, while your food slowly hits room temperature. Dash Pass hook. DoorDash pushes the Dash Pass so hard because it fundamentally changes how you spend. It is the sunk cost king of the delivery world. For $9.99 a month, you get 0 delivery fees and lower service fees, which makes you feel like you have to order more often to make the subscription pay for itself. You stop considering the local place down the street because I already paid for the Dash Pass, I should use it. At the end of the day, you're paying for a subscription to a service that only exists to help you spend more money. Refund credit. When DoorDash inevitably messes up your order, they default to offering you DoorDash credits instead of a full cash refund, which is a lock-in tactic, because now they've successfully turned your real money into monopoly money that can only be spent on their platform. They might offer you $5 in DoorDash credit for a $10 item that was missing. Since you can't spend those credits anywhere else, you're forced to order again to claim your money back. We accept the partial credit because it's easier than fighting a chatbot for a real refund to our bank account. The reorder.
The home screen of DoorDash is dominated by your previous orders. It's designed to stop you from thinking. Instead of looking for a healthier or cheaper option, the app puts that $35 sushi order from last Tuesday right in your face. It's the path of least resistance. You're tired, you're hungry, and the app is making it as easy as possible to repeat a bad financial decision with one click. It bypasses the part of your brain that evaluates value and goes straight to the part that remembers the taste, regardless of the fact that the fees cost you an hour's worth of work. And there you have it, every little trap DoorDash uses. At the end of the day, DoorDash is a logistics company, selling you the ability to avoid putting on pants for another hour, and thrives on the fact that you're just slightly too tired to cook. The system is built to hide the true cost of that convenience behind a dozen micro fees and psychological nudges until your quick snack becomes a luxury expense. It's a brilliant way to make us pay double for cold food, and most of the time we're happy to do it. Which one of these traps is the reason your bank account is screaming right now? Let me know in the comments.